If you want higher, more prominent cheekbones without having to get surgery, one technique that is gaining popularity right now is called zygomatic pushing. The idea is based upon joint suture theory that consistent pressure over time can lead to subtle changes of your skull. But does it actually work? I'll be breaking it all down in this video, the theory behind it, what the evidence says, and how do you do it correctly, and what kind of realistic results can you actually expect from doing it. So firstly, what is zygomatic pushing? It is a method of applying controlled pressure to your zygomatic bones, what we call the cheekbones. The goal is to stimulate these sutures. The theory suggests that bones, even in adulthood, retain a small amount of flexibility. So let's look at what the evidence says. Here's everything we currently know about whether zygomatic pushing works. Firstly is the anthropological evidence. In ancient civilizations that had diets that required heavy chewing, we see wider, more robust zygomatic arches. This suggests that external forces, like chewing, can influence the bone structure of your face. What is the modern understanding? There is some biochemical logic behind this theory. Consistent forces can influence bone remodeling over time, as we see in orthodontics. However, the flexibility of your zygomatic sutures heavily decreases with age, so the potential for significant changes is limited, especially in adults. This technique will work best for younger individuals, particularly those in their teen years, maybe early 20s, but far less so beyond 30. So the bottom line, while there is some theoretical basis, the evidence is anecdotal, and the results, if any, are subtle, especially as you get older. So with that in mind, how do you perform them? You want to try zygomatic pushing. Here is how you're going to do it effectively and safely. Firstly, begin by washing your hands. You watch skincare guys, you know why. Then, find your zygomatic bones along your cheekbones right here. Using your thumbs or index fingers, you want to push in the direction from under your cheekbones to your temples. Some people prefer to do this method from inside their mouth. If you go inside your cheek, you can feel the bottom of your zygomatic bone right there. Hold the pressure for 30 to 60 seconds, then release it, and repeat that 2 or 3 times per session. Practice this technique once or twice daily, as overdoing it will not speed up results. It could just cause irritation and soreness. Make sure when you do this, you have a straight spine, you are sat or standing upright to ensure that you have proper alignment of your face and neck. So realistically, what can you expect from doing this? For younger individuals, you might notice slightly higher set cheekbones and potentially improved symmetry on your face, normally in around a 3 to 6 month time frame. For adults, it may take even years to just see subtle changes. Up to you if you do it or not. Understand that the effects are small at best. Zygomatic pushing is not a quick fix or even a guaranteed way to transform your face. However, it is a low-risk technique that is worth trying if you're patient and realistic. But you need to keep in mind these things of what to be careful of when doing so. Make sure you are not overdoing it. Make sure you're applying even pressure and avoid creating any asymmetries. If you have any pre-existing conditions like TMJ, or just avoid this one as a whole. And remember, if you're over 30, the results will be negligible due to your reduced suture flexibility. Zygomatic pushing is simple and low risk, so it's worth a try for those who are up for it. As always, let me know if you have any questions. Best of luck, gang. Your smile is one of the first things that people will notice about you, and a bright, clean smile can dramatically enhance your appearance. So in this video, I'm going to cover 2 very powerful methods to make your teeth a whole lot whiter. Those 2 methods are oil pulling and whitening strips. Let's break down what they do, how you can use them, and what you can expect. Firstly, a clean white smile is not just about oral hygiene. It's actually a key component of facial symmetry, youthfulness, and overall attractiveness. Whiter teeth are going to make your face look brighter, your skin tone more radiant. It's an indicator of your vitality. If you don't know by now, your health and your attractiveness go hand in hand. First things first, let's talk about oil pulling. What is it and how does it work? Oil pulling is an ancient practice that involves swishing oil around in your mouth to remove any toxins that are in there and improve your overall health. So how does it work? The oil that you swish around in your mouth binds to harmful bacteria, so that when you go to spit it out, you spit out the bacteria too. Over time, it will reduce plaque, freshen your breath, and improve your gum health, which can actually make your teeth appear whiter. So how do you do it? First things first, you've got to choose your oil. I would recommend using a natural cold pressed oil like coconut oil or sesame oil. I personally use coconut oil as I think it tastes nicer. It's totally up to you. Then put a whole load in your mouth and swish it around for 15 to 20 minutes. Just a tablespoon will do, and avoid swallowing any of it when you're swishing it around. Then spit it out. Try and not spit it down the sink, it can clog your pipes. Try and spit it into a tissue or just straight into the trash. And after you spit it out, you should rinse and brush your teeth. Rinse your mouth with warm water and brush your teeth as usual. Okay, so what can you expect from doing this? In the short term, you immediately get fresher breath. and a cleaner feeling mouth just straight away after the first session. But over time, it's actually going to gradually whiten your teeth, giving you that attractive, polished look. Okay, let's talk about teeth whitening strips. What is it and how do they work? They are flexible pieces of plastic that you just put along your teeth, coated with a peroxide-based gel. They are designed to lighten stains and whiten teeth over time. The peroxide in the strips penetrate the enamel to break down any stains caused by coffee, tea, red wines, etc. Okay, so how do you use them? First of all, follow the instructions that are on the package. Each of them will vary. Most of them require use for about 15 to 30 minutes across a 1 to 2 week period. Secondly, you want to apply them to clean teeth. So make sure to brush your teeth beforehand, but don't brush them too aggressively because you want to avoid oversensitivity. So brush them gently beforehand and then properly dry them so that these strips can adhere properly to your teeth. When you place them onto your teeth, make sure you fold them to the backs as well. It's going to make sure it has a snug fit and the gel is staying on nice and tight. After the recommended time, you can remove them, and then you want to thoroughly rinse out your mouth so that there's no remaining gel in there afterwards. Short term, you're going to get some sensitivity most likely in the first 1 to 2 weeks. It's the price to pay for such rapid results, because you are going to get visible results in 2 to 3 days of doing so. Longer term, after 2 to 3 weeks, you are going to get significant whitening of the teeth. If maintained, the results last months. So how do you combine oil pulling and whitening strips? So you don't have to choose between these methods. You can add them together and fast track your way to a better smile. Understand that oil pulling is focusing on overall oral health, and whitening strips will specifically target the brightness of your teeth. So oil pull in the morning before you brush your teeth, and use your whitening strips in that 2 week period every evening after you brush your teeth. When you combine these techniques, you're not just brightening your teeth, you're building a strong foundation for long-lasting results. But I often see people mistakes when they are going about this, so these are the mistakes that you need to be avoiding. The first problem that people make, overusing these strips. If you overuse them, it can lead to tooth sensitivity, and it can actually damage your enamel if you do it too much. So stick to the recommended usage that is on your specific brand packaging. The second mistake is skipping oil pulling consistently. Irregular oil pulling is not going to deliver you any noticeable results. Commit to doing it daily or at least 4 to 5 times a week. And the third mistake is neglecting hydration. Dehydration can actually make your teeth look duller. With everything in looksmaxing, it is just a rule of thumb. Drink 2 to 3 liters of water every single day. In this case, especially to keep your enamel hydrated and healthy. To keep your teeth looking white and your gums looking healthy. As a whole, avoid stain-causing foods like coffee, wine, soda. Rinse every time you eat a meal, even if it's just with water. Use a soft bristled toothbrush. This is going to protect your enamel when you brush gently with that, and make sure to floss daily. It's going to keep your gums healthy and get rid of any debris that would cause discoloration if it was there for a prolonged period of time. Your smile is one of your biggest assets. Combining oil pulling with whitening strips is the way to go for a white smile. You can enhance it naturally, effectively, and healthily. Best of luck, gang. This is covering exactly how you're going to train your hyoid bone and how to get that Chad jawline that you want. A strong jawline can completely transform your look. It can take a guy from a 6 out of 10 to a 9 out of 10. The secret to enhancing it is not just in training the masseter and getting lean. You need to train your hyoid. What is the hyoid bone? It's a small U-shaped bone located in your throat, just under your jawline. It's completely unique because it's not actually connected to any other bone in your body. Instead, it is completely suspended by muscles and ligaments. Okay, so why is it important in jaw development? The hyoid supports your tongue and plays a crucial role when you're swallowing, speaking, and breathing. Its position completely influences the appearance of your jawline and neck. A low-set hyoid bone like here, even on a lean guy, can make him look like he's got a terrible double chin and hide all of his jaw gains. Whereas a high-set hyoid bone makes all the difference. When properly trained, the muscles around the hyoid can lift and tighten your neck area, making your jawline appear sharper and your overall face more attractive. Okay, so why would you train your hyoid other than aesthetics? Obviously beauty is great, but beauty is inherently linked to your health. The actual main benefits you get from training your hyoid are not just aesthetics, it's functionality and posture. So here's what happens when you focus on these muscles. A sharper jawline. Strengthening the muscles lift your hyoid bone. Better posture. A weak hyoid can contribute to more forward head posture, making your head and face look compressed, and it makes your jaw look recessed. You get an improved neck profile, it tightens the loose skin around your throat. Okay, so let's dive into the science of hyoid training. To train the hyoid, you have to target the muscles that connect to it. The suprahyoid muscles, these lift the hyoid bone. The infrahyoid muscles, these stabilize the hyoid bone and improve your neck posture. and the platysma. This is a superficial muscle in the neck that influences your skin tightness and your skin tone. So let's get into the exercises. First one is tongue pressing. Sit or stand upright with your mouth closed. Press your tongue firmly against the palate of your mouth. Hold it for 10 seconds. You should feel a burn, maximum effort. Release that, and then repeat that 10 times. McKinsey chin tucks. Again, sit or stand with a neutral spine. Keep your eyes forward, your shoulders back, your chest up, and try and make as many double chins as you possibly can. It's not about curling your head down like this. It's about bringing it back like this. There's going to be a lot of tension in that one. It's difficult at first, but you'll get used to it, and it completely activates the infrahyoid muscles. Jawline lifts through swallowing. Tilt your head slightly back and look towards the ceiling. You should feel some stretching here in your neck muscles. Press your tongue to the roof of your mouth, and then try and swallow. Try and perform 10 slow repetitions, keeping that tension there as you swallow. This one's a killer. Sit upright and hum at a low pitch. Looks stupid, I know. You should feel resistance right here with the muscles under your jaw. Do it for 10 to 15 seconds, rest, and repeat that 5 more times. This activates deep muscles and the vocal muscles all around the hyoid, which is going to continue to enhance your jawline appearance. And obviously, mewing and hard mewing. Basically, we all know what this is. It does work. It completely correlates with joint suture theory. It's going to apply more pressure to your palate, which over time is going to expand your maxilla and improve your forward growth. You want to have all of your tongue on the roof of your mouth, just behind your front incisors, with your teeth softly touching. You'll know if you're doing it right, because you can see side on the effects of mewing. Hopefully that was clear enough. Let's talk about the role of posture in hyoid training, because it is extremely significant. Bad posture can undo all of your hard work. Looking good is health. Remember that. If your head is constantly tilted forward, like this, the hyoids and the surrounding muscles weaken. To correct this, stand tall. Be conscious of keeping your ears in line with your shoulders and your chin parallel to the floor. And if you can, when you're at the gym, train neck curls. Get to the edge of the bench. You don't need weights if you're doing it right. There's enough resistance. It is not about curling like this. It is about curling like this. Trying to get as many double chins as you possibly can. And then NPR. NPR needs a little bit more attention, so I'll make a separate video on that. Consistent hyoid training with good posture can give you significant results in just 4 to 6 weeks. Give it your all. Don't push yourself too hard if you feel too much strain, and watch the progress come in. To amplify your results and making sure you're getting the most gains that you possibly can, hydrate, have a healthy diet, use a gua sha or a roller to give you some lymphatic drainage massages. I'll also have another video on that, and make sure you're getting good sleep too. By consistently training these muscles, you'll not only enhance your jawline, but also improve your posture and confidence. Remember, every single small habit you build contributes to a stronger, more defined you. So start training it today, keep this community updated with your progress, and watch the results come in. Good luck. Have you ever wondered why some people grow taller and others don't reach their full height potential? Well, genetics play a big role. There are certain things that you can do to ensure that you reach your maximum genetic potential. For example, your hormones have a huge impact on how tall you end up, especially in your developing years. Today, I'm going to be talking about hormone optimization for height. I'm going to break down the science of exactly how your hormones affect growth, and I'll be sharing practical strategies through diet, exercise, and lifestyle changes to help maximize your genetic potential, keeping you as tall as you can possibly be. Let's get started. All right, let's start with the basics. Your height is primarily determined by the amount of growth in your growth plates of your bones. These plates are areas of cartilage that allow your bones to lengthen during your growth years, which typically last until your late teens or your early 20s. Growth plates are directly influenced by the following: human growth hormone, insulin growth factor 1, your testosterone levels, and your estrogen and your cortisol. Human growth hormone is the key hormone for driving bone growth produced in the pituitary gland. Insulin growth factor 1 works with HGH, and it's going to promote better bone and muscle development. The test and estrogen levels are going to be what fuels the growth spurts during puberty, but they can also signal the closure of your growth plates if their levels are too high, which will end your height growth. You should know that chronic stress levels like cortisol can completely suppress the growth hormone, ultimately slowing down your growth. Before we get into the techniques, let's talk about when they'll actually be most effective. Hormone optimization for height will be most effective in your childhood and adolescence. This is the prime period for growth because all of your growth plates are completely open, allowing your bones to lengthen as much as they can. In ages 12 to 18 or puberty, your body produces the most amount of HGH. This is what drives the growth spurts. So this is when optimizing your hormones can make the biggest difference. Around 18 to 21 is typically when most people's growth plates begin to close and their growth begins to slow down. But techniques can still improve overall health and bone density. So in other words, if your growth plates are closed, this won't increase your height, but it will help your overall bone health. So let's get into some actionable strategies about how you can actually apply this. Firstly, you want to prioritize good sleep. Your body releases the most HGH during sleep, so you should be aiming for about 8 to 10 hours of quality sleep every single night. And obviously stick to a regular sleep schedule and avoid screens before bed for the best results. Next, you want to follow a height-friendly diet. So what do I mean when I say that? I'm talking about protein-rich foods, eggs, chicken, fish, vegetables. All of those have amino acids that are going to support bone growth. Calcium and vitamin D. These nutrients found in dairy and leafy greens and sunlight are going to strengthen your bones and promote HGH production. Zinc and magnesium, these are essential for hormone balance. Eat nuts, seeds, and whole grains. And lastly, healthy fats, things like avocados, nuts, oil, they are all going to do wonders here. You also want to be engaging in growth stimulating exercises. High intensity interval training is a perfect example. Short bursts of intense exercise can skyrocket your HGH production. So sprints, weighted sprints, bodyweight circuits, they're all wonderful. When you're doing strength training, it's better to focus on compound movements like bench and squat and deadlift. But if you are in your early teens, avoid any heavy loads of this as you are more prone to injury. Make sure you are avoiding stimulants and processed foods. Too much caffeine and a high sugar diet can interfere with hormone production and ultimately slow your growth. This one might come as a surprise due to the caffeine, but it's important to remember, just like all things you consume, it is appropriate in the correct moderation. Doesn't mean you need to ban it, just means you need to not overload it. And also you need to manage your stress. Like I said earlier, you want to decrease that cortisol as it can completely interfere with the growing process. So what can you actually expect from doing all of this and in what timeframes? If you are under 18 and you have followed all of these practices, you can rest assured that you are a couple inches taller than if you hadn't. Obviously, this will vary for everyone. We all have different genetic limiting factors, which is a huge part of height. So understand that there's no real metric to say how much you can grow and how much you can't grow. But the way I see it, the time is going to pass anyway, and all of these methods will help your health. And if you have prioritized your health in the ways that I have just mentioned, you will be as tall as you naturally can. If you're in puberty and you're applying these practices, you are going to notice that your growth spurts are a lot more aggressive. They're going to be amplified, which means that you're going to have a noticeable increase in height. And if you are doing these practices post growth plate closure, so around 21 plus, you're not going to be taller. You are just going to have overall better health and healthier bones. So to keep it simple, here are the mistakes that you want to avoid. Do not neglect your sleep. Don't overtrain, because too much intense exercise without recovery can raise your cortisol. Do not ignore the nutrition, and don't expect to get too much taller once your growth plates are closed. The amount of height that you are going to gain through other practices, like I'll mention, like posture correction, are not actually physically getting taller. They are just correcting habits and muscular issues that were compressing you. So make sure you're applying all of these strategies consistently. And as always, let me know if you have any questions. Much love, gang. What the hell is NPR? NPR stands for mental protuberance resistance. It is an exercise that is going to help promote things like forward growth, a higher set hyoid bone, so that you have that snatched, cinched jawline look. It's a prerequisite to help you get a wider palate too. You need to understand that NPR in itself is not going to give you things like a wider palate and more forward growth, but it can directly address facial imbalances, fix any muscular asymmetries in your neck, and promote far better head posture. It was a method I found out when on a video call with my chiropractor. He studied bones and joint suture theory for the last 30 years. I spent hours firing questions at him that all you guys had in this looksmaxing space, seeing what works, what doesn't work. He deduced this to be one of the most important exercises when it comes to symmetry, increasing the strength of your supra and infrahyoid muscles, which I'll touch on in a sec. The exercise will help raise your hyoid bone and overall promote a healthier, stronger, more attractive face and neckline. So how does one do it? It's called mental protuberance resistance because your mental protuberance is the name for your chin bone, and you're going to be applying resistance to that in repetitions, opening and closing your mouth with the resistance coming from your thumbs. You want to place your thumbs underneath your chin. I personally like to put my hands together, looks like I'm praying, and I press the base of my index fingers against the front of my chin for stability, like so. Then, to complete the repetitions, you just want to open and close your mouth while providing moderate resistance with your hands. The repetition should look more or less like this. So what is it doing when you're doing this? It's directly targeting the suprahyoid muscles. The suprahyoid muscles are the ones above your hyoid bone. There's two things that happen when you strengthen these muscles. One, they obviously get stronger, and two, they will get more taut. Picture a bodybuilder that has trained his arms so much to the point that he can no longer straighten them. That is because the muscle has been trained so much that it has become taut and it can no longer fully release contraction. That's the goal here with your suprahyoid muscles. You want them to become tight. When they become tight, they're going to be suspending your hyoid bone higher all the time, naturally, without you having to think about it. So how should you perform the reps? First of all, it's important to note that if you have any popping or clicking in your jaw area, stop it immediately. There's a sign of early TMJ, and getting a nasty case of TMJ is going to screw over your jaw gains and give you some long-term issues. Listen to your body. If it feels like it hurts, don't do it. But if you are just starting out and you have a weak neck, I would recommend using light pressure with your hands and doing about 20 reps, resting for about a minute in between for 5 to 8 sets. As I said, listen to your body. As you get stronger, as you progress over the next coming weeks, you can increase the pressure, the number of reps, or the volume of sets, so that over time you can progressively overload these muscles. Now, understand that this itself is not going to give you forward growth. The forward growth is going to come from maxillar development. It relates back to joint suture theory. Your skull has sutures all over it. Contrary to popular belief in this community, your sutures are still not fused until around 20 to 25. Yes, it may be harder to see results if you're upwards from 17 or 18. As you may have seen, I was able to achieve pretty substantial results in just 3 months of doing this at 18 years old. So, understand that when your suprahyoid muscles get strengthened, your hyoid bone lifts, but you will be able to hard mew more frequently and more firmly. Some people like to say that thumb pulling is far more effective. Personally, I disagree. Maybe you can get more maxilla development from just thumb pulling, but you neglect all of the muscles that come from hard mewing as well, like engaging the deep neck flexors, the infrahyoids, and the suprahyoids. Think of frequent hard mewing as like an all-in-one, and consistent pressure can also be beneficial too, instead of thumb pulling, which is just 5 to 10 minutes of extreme pressure, and then for the rest of the day it has all of that time to revert to what it was before. Ideally, any single time that you are not talking, eating, or hard exercising, you should be trying to at least mew, if not hard mew. When you start, you will be feeling such a burn in all of your neck muscles, because it is intense. And it is up to you how much you do it, but just bear in mind, the more you do it, the better your results will be. Hard mewing enough will widen your palate, creating better development of your maxilla. If you don't know, a wider, more developed maxilla is viewed as more attractive. It promotes healthier airways. That's why this exercise is so damn useful. Now, you should make sure that anytime you do strenuous exercise on things like your neck, you are fully warmed up. Ideally do it at the end of a workout. You want to mitigate the risk of injury as much as you can. And also take some time separately from the exercise throughout the day to stretch your neck muscle. There's really no right or wrong way to go about it as long as you're listening to your body. When you start this, you will be engaging muscles you have most likely never worked before. So take it slow, listen to the stretches your body is telling you that it wants, and by building consistent, sustainable habits, you can see real progress within a matter of months. As always, if you have any questions, let me know. Best of luck, gang.
All right, let's talk about bone smashing. It is one of the most talked about, yet most dangerous practices in all of looksmaxing. It is a so-called hack for the pursuit of better facial aesthetics. And the idea is repeatedly hitting your bones with a hard object to stimulate bone growth, supposedly supported by something called Wolff's Law. But here is the reality. Bone smashing does not work the way you think. And Wolff's Law has been completely misunderstood and misapplied in this context by the TikTok community. Surprise. In this video, I'm going to break down why it's not only outright ineffective, but also harmful. I'm going to expose all of the risks and the long-term consequences that you could face from doing it. Okay, so what does it claim to do? Bone smashing hinges on the idea that if you repeatedly hit your face with something hard, it creates microfractures on the bones, leading the bone to grow back thicker and stronger, and therefore more attractive in some cases, especially if it's on your zygomatics. This belief is tied to something called Wolff's Law. But Wolff's Law explains that bones adapt to loads of pressure placed on them over time. That's why weightlifters develop denser bones over time after lifting heavy weights, or why astronauts lose bone density when they have no external pressures like gravity on them. But here's the key misunderstanding. Wolff's law applies to slow and controlled, consistent changes of pressure on the bones. Controlled, consistent, and functional loads, not random trauma or blunt force. So here's exactly why Wolff's law doesn't support bone smashing. Let's talk about controlled stress versus trauma. Wolff's law describes the body's adaptation to controlled, functional stress over time. Walking, lifting weights, or even things like orthodontic adjustments. Bone smashing creates uncontrolled, chaotic trauma. Instead of stimulating healthy adaptation, it risks fractures, inflammation, and improper healing. Also, microfractures do not heal uniformly. The human body can't control exactly how bones are going to react from trauma. So often the result of bone smashing is a disorganized buildup in bone tissue that comes in various ways. This buildup of bone tissue is something called a callus, and it is what leads to uneven or misshapen features, not the sharp, defined chisel look that you're trying to get. Also, bone smashing specifically focuses on facial bones, not weight-bearing bones like your femur. Facial bones aren't designed to withstand repeated impact, and the results won't align with the principle of Wolff's law of adaptation. Not only that, your skin and soft tissue are not going to benefit from smashing your face in, because the skin, cartilage, and soft tissues of your face will sustain permanent damage, including sagging and scarring, and even discoloration. No amount of bone adaptation is going to outweigh that con. And also, bone smashing comes with a load of risks. Permanent bone deformities, permanent nerve damage, accelerated aging, a risk of infection, a huge psychological toll which is documented time and time again. I mean, if you have ever met someone who bone smashes, you can quite clearly see what rabbit hole they've been led down. You can tell that their road for improving themselves has turned into a project of self-hatred. So I know what a lot of you think, and if bone smashing isn't the answer, then what is? Here are the safe methods that you should be focusing on to improve your facial aesthetics. Orthotropics, proper tongue posture, neck exercises, and mewing can help guide your facial bones as you develop. Weight loss and fitness, skincare and collagen support, everything to do with joint suture theory and bone manipulation in that sense, chewing exercises and jaw development, and myofunctional therapy. So no, bone smashing doesn't work, and it's not because of Wolff's law, but because it fundamentally misunderstands how the body adapts to stress. The risks far outweigh the supposed benefits, and the long-term consequences can be completely irreversible. So cut it out, stay safe. Remember that this is a journey of self-improvement which should be rooted in self-love. In other words, you don't need to harm yourself in any way to improve. Much love, gang. Let me know if you have any questions.
Improving your jawline can completely transform your look, but if you go about it the wrong way, you could end up with injuries, imbalances, or worse. Let's break down the biggest mistakes that people make when trying to get a good jawline. Firstly, overusing your jaw trainer. I'm talking about those rubber balls or the rubber pads that go in the premolars. I would recommend not using them at all. But if you are going to use them, here's why you need to be careful about overusing them. Overloading your masseter muscles can lead to unnatural hypertrophy, creating a bulky, square look, rather than the sharp, defined jawline that most people want. Excessive use of something like this increases your chance of TMJ massively. If you don't know what that is, it's basically jaw pain, jaw clicking, or locking up of the jaw. This can give you chronic discomfort and even require medical intervention. You need to be extremely careful when you train your jaw. You should know that jaw trainers do not mimic the natural range of motion of how your jaw needs to be worked. The only thing that's really going to get you there is chilling. So I would skip the jaw trainer altogether and focus on eating tough, natural foods like crusty bread, steak, or carrots. These do provide enough resistance. If you consciously chew, you will feel a burning sensation in your masseters just after 1 meal. If you do that 3 times a day, you're good. Trust me. Let's talk about the towel method. This is biting onto a towel while you hold it and pull it down, thinking it's going to build strength in your jaw. Okay, so why is the towel method wrong? The towel method is going to put uneven strain on the jaw joints and muscles, which is going to lead to misalignment or excessive stress. The repetitive down-pulling motion can actually stretch and weaken ligaments around the jaw, reducing its stability over time. And the main thing is that it doesn't replicate the natural motion of chewing. It's unnatural, it's risky, and also it can actually deform your teeth over time. Think of the front of your teeth like this. Excessive strain over time is going to manipulate the way your teeth look. We know this through braces. Enough pressure over time is going to completely change your alignment. So doing it too much can actually make your teeth more like this. You gotta be careful. Another big mistake, neglecting getting shredded. Neglecting your body fat reduction. Jaw exercises alone will not give you a good jawline. It doesn't matter what exercise you do, if you have high fat around this area, you will not see any gains. Even if you have the highest set hyoid bone, the strongest mass you've ever seen, you won't get the benefits of hollow cheeks. You won't have any good side profile projection because there'll be just too much fat to actually show off the work that you're doing. Getting lean is absolutely vital in this process. The only way I would recommend that you lose weight is through nutritionally dense food and a caloric deficit and a rigorous training routine. None of this starve maxing bullshit I'm seeing online. Keep it simple, stick to what works, stick to what's healthy. Another common mistake, overloading your jaw with asymmetrical movements. Make sure you're not just chewing on one side if you don't already have asymmetries. Consciously chew on both sides. Consciously make sure that the burn on each side of your jaw whenever doing any type of exercise is completely equal. And also, don't ignore your neck and posture. You can't just focus on the jaw to get a good jawline. Forward head posture compresses the neck and weakens the muscles around the jaw, leading to a recessed or saggy looking appearance. With a double chin, posture is vital. The last thing you need to be careful of is believing quick fix myths. There is no shortcut to building a good jaw. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of dedication, it takes consistency and discipline. If you see any product that is saying that here's how to get a jawline in 7 days, your BS detector should be going off like crazy. Ignore it, it's a scam. They are peddling something. They are just trying to get your money from your insecurities. Instead, commit to sustainable lifestyle changes so that you can ensure that you see the right progress, the healthy progress over time. Your jawline is a reflection of your overall health, posture, and habits. You don't need gimmicks, jaw trainers, risky exercises, or things like the Tao method to achieve the results you want. By focusing on natural movements, eating tough foods, and maintaining good posture, you'll gradually sculpt a defined jawline in the long run, without the risks. Good luck, gang. How exactly are you going to master your insulin levels and how and when to spike them? This is the video for that. Insulin is one of the most powerful hormones in your whole body. It does not just control your blood sugar. It can directly affect how you look and how you feel. Let's break down the science behind insulin, what happens when it's out of balance, and how to master it for peak health and peak appearance. Okay, so what is insulin and why does it even matter? Insulin is a hormone produced by your pancreas that helps you regulate your blood sugar levels. When you eat, especially carbohydrates, your body releases insulin to shuttle glucose from your bloodstream into your cells for energy or storage. It provides your cells with energy. It works with other hormones like IGF-1, like I've touched on before, to stimulate protein synthesis. It signals to your body to store excess glucose as fat, and it impacts your collagen production and your skin elasticity, basically how youthful you look. When it's well regulated, your body thrives. But when it's out of balance, too high or too low, it can lead to health issues and noticeable changes in your appearance. So what happens when it's out of balance? Let's talk about too much insulin. Constantly elevated insulin levels, most likely from eating carbs too frequently, can lead to weight gain, inflammation, skin issues, and energy crashes. Whereas too little insulin can lead to things like chronic fatigue, difficulty losing fat, increased appetite, and accelerated aging. So how does insulin affect your face? The signs of insulin face are puffiness and swelling, breakouts in oily skin, wrinkles and sagging skin, and dark patches or skin tags. You'll notice it's similar to cortisol. So how do you master your morning insulin spike? Like cortisol, insulin has a natural rhythm that can either set you up or derail you for the day. Let's talk about why morning nutrition matters with facial aesthetics. Eating refined carbs or sugars first thing in the morning can cause a massive insulin spike, leading to energy crashes and fat storage. So pairing your carbs with protein and healthy fats can smooth out your insulin response and keep you energized. Let's talk about the problem with skipping breakfast. If you delay eating too long after waking up, your body's blood sugar drops, triggers a stress response and cortisol release. This can then lead to overeating and poor food choices later in the day and affects your mental. Instead, start your day with a balanced, nutrient-dense meal. Protein, like eggs or Greek yogurt, healthy fats like avocados or nuts, and complex carbs like sweet potatoes or oats. This combination in the morning is going to keep your insulin steady. So how do you control your insulin throughout the day? To sum it up, prioritize low glycemic foods like leafy greens or berries or quinoa. Add fiber to every single meal. Fiber slows down digestion and sugar absorption, reducing your insulin spikes. For example, instead of just having fruit, have fruit and nuts, or fruit and Greek yogurt. Combine your macronutrients. Pair your carbs with protein and fats. That way there, your insulin stays steady and doesn't spike. And lastly, time your carbs strategically. If you save your carbs for after a workout, when your body is more insulin sensitive, this ensures that the glucose you've just eaten is being used for muscle repair. Straight to the bicep. So if you're wondering when to spike your insulin, you should be spiking it post-workout. If you're trying to lower your insulin for fat loss and health, this is how. Lowering insulin levels when they're not needed is critical for weight loss, especially fat loss. It's also critical for hormonal balance and your overall health. Here's how you do that. You can intermittent fast, which is just having a fasting window in the day. For example, you don't eat for a specific 12 hours. Strength training. Avoid late night snacking, sleep well, and cut out your refined sugar and carbs. Balanced insulin levels will contribute to a leaner, healthier appearance of your face. When they're balanced, you can tackle fat loss, clearer skin, youthful skin, and more defined features. So to sum it up and recap, eat whole foods, move after your meals, hydrate throughout the day, strength train regularly, and manage your stress. Insulin is not just about blood sugar, it's about how you feel, perform, and look. By mastering your insulin levels, you can unlock better energy, clearer skin, and a leaner, shredded physique. Best of luck, gang. Fresh breath isn't just about hygiene. It's a huge part of your attractiveness, and it changes how other people will perceive you. In this video, I'll cover every single thing you need to achieve constant fresh breath. Firstly, you gotta understand that having fresh breath is not just about avoiding awkward moments. It signals cleanliness, confidence, and good health. Bad breath, or halitosis, is often caused by bacteria buildup. By mastering your oral hygiene routine, you can make sure your breath stays fresh all day, every day. So let's talk about the foundations of having fresh breath. Firstly, brush your teeth and do it right. The leading cause of your bad breath will be food particles stuck in between and on your teeth. So brush twice a day, 2 minutes at a time, and don't forget to brush the inner surfaces of your teeth and your whole tongue. More on that in a sec. So the next key to having fresh breath all the time is to brush or scrape your tongue. You need to understand that your tongue is a breeding ground for odor-causing bacteria. So every single time you brush your teeth, you need to be using a tongue scraper. Make sure you do it gently, make sure you get all the way back, and after you do it, if it's your first time, you are going to be in shock with how much comes off your tongue. You should be doing this every single time you brush your teeth. And next, you need to be flossing daily. Food particles that are stuck between your teeth that sometimes you can't even see can rot and give you bad breath. Use dental floss or floss picks again every single time. These should just be staples in your routine that never change. Okay, so how do you boost your oral hygiene beyond brushing? First is mouthwash. Mouthwash kills the bacteria, freshens breath, and reaches all the places that your toothbrush can't. Try and opt for alcohol-free ones to avoid dryness. If you can, look for mouthwashes with chlorhexidine or zinc compounds. When it has these components, it's going to ensure that it has the most odor control. When you use it after you brush your teeth or just after any meal. Another way to boost it is constantly chew fresh sugar-free gum or sugar-free mints. Not only will this give you fresh breath because of the flavor from it, but it will actually stimulate saliva production, which is needed to wash away bacteria and neutralize any acids in your mouth. If you can, look for gum with xylitol. It fights cavities as well as freshening your breath. And of course, throughout the day, you need to stay hydrated. Once again, 2 to 3 liters of water every single day. When you're eating for fresh breath, eat crunchy fruits and vegetables. Fruits like apples, carrots, celery, they all naturally freshen your breath and reduce the odor. And if you are on a date or you're seeing someone important, going to a business meeting, you want to avoid breath killers when you're out in public. I'm talking about garlics and onions, any sugary snacks, and any dairy. All of these things are going to make your breath worse off immediately. The dental tools to be able to boost your hygiene, you should be using an electric toothbrush. It removes plaque way more effectively than a manual toothbrush. If you haven't made the switch already, do so. You can also try a water flosser. It's really good at cleaning hard to reach areas in your mouth. Try it out if you haven't. And make sure that you are replacing your toothbrush regularly, at least every 3 months. Old toothbrushes harbor bacteria, and over time they can just do more harm than good when you use them. Now, something you should know. Your body produces less saliva while you sleep, which is why you may wake up with morning breath. So what can you do to make your breath smell better every time you wake up? Obviously, brush and floss before bed, but actually you should be mewing in your sleep too. This is going to prevent your mouth from drying out. And if you rinse with salt water before bed, that will act as a natural antibacterial rinse and completely reduce all the odors that may appear overnight. Try it out, see how you feel, and wake up with some fresh breath. Fresh breath is a game changer. It is one of the foundations of confidence, hygiene, and attractiveness, especially when you're out in public talking to people. They will remember you as the guy that smelled so good when they were talking to you. If following these tips and building the right habits that are sustainable and maintainable over time, you can maintain constant fresh breath and a completely radiant smile. Best of luck, gang. Your eyebrows are more than just a feature. They're a key part of your expression and your overall attractiveness. In this video, I'm going to show you how we can focus on controlling the muscles around our eyebrows so that we can begin to shape our brow positioning, our brow tilt, and achieve that more aggressive hunter eye look. So firstly, let's talk about why a low set brow ridge with a positive tilt is ideal. So firstly, what do I mean when I say that? A low set brow ridge are brows that sit close to your eyes, creating a very focused and a very grounded masculine appearance. And the positive tilt is the fact that the eyebrows are going this way and not this way. It is attractive because it conveys strength and confidence. You're not appearing overly expressive or surprised. When done right, it can add balance and symmetry to your face, and it avoids that typical prey eye look that is viewed as inherently weaker or less masculine. Okay, so what are the muscles actually responsible for your eyebrow positioning? First is the frontalis muscle. Its role is to raise the eyebrows. When you overactivate this muscle, over time, it can cause tension to build up here, which can actually lift your brow ridge to be too high, creating an unnatural look. So you need to focus on relaxing this muscle as much as you can. Next is the orbicularis oculi muscle. It goes full circle around your eyes. This is going to be the muscle that helps anchor the inner part of your eyebrow close to your eyes, maintaining that low set appearance. Then you have the temporalis muscle. This is what's going to be pulling the ends of your eyebrows slightly up and backwards. This muscle is the essential muscle for achieving that positive tilt. And next, you have the occipitalis muscle. This works with the temporalis muscle to bring the eyebrows slightly up and back, and it is there to just add a little bit of finesse to that positive tilt, ensuring it looks completely natural and balanced. So let's talk about the exercises you can do to begin to achieve positive tilt with your eyebrows. As you can see, my eyebrows used to be negative all of the time. And as you can see now, they rest more or less neutral, and I can make them as positive as I want them to go. This is because I have developed full facial control. They can go back the other way too, but as you can see, it doesn't look nearly as good. So the first thing you want to do is relax your frontalis muscle. So firstly, practice in a mirror. Make sure that when you're about to do this exercise, you are keeping this fully relaxed. What you want to do is you want to take your middle fingers and pull at the ends of your eyebrows. You're going to manually create a positive tilt. The goal is to try and engage every muscle apart from your frontalis, all the ones around here instead. As I said, practice in front of a mirror and make sure that your brow is staying low. So next, you need to be strengthening the temporalis muscle. To do this, you should use your auricularis posterior, which is the muscle behind your ears that is going to be responsible for pulling it back, and just focus on holding that for about 5 seconds. Then release it. Repeat that 10 to 15 times. You can do that once a day. Bonus points while you do this: you can use the palms of your hands to apply some slight pressure to your head as you pull your ears back. You should see what looks good when you do it in the mirror. Getting this more aggressive positive tilt is the end goal. Next, you need to engage your occipitalis muscle. This is going to add that natural backwards pull motion to your eyebrows. So what you want to do is you want to sit upright, maintain your focus, and focus on moving your scalp backwards. Sounds weird. Feel your scalp if you need to increase that mind to muscle connection, but it should feel as if you're tightening the back of your head. Hold it for 5 seconds, then relax, and repeat this for 10 to 12 reps daily as well. You put all of this together, you practice in the mirror over time, and you should be able to begin to develop some pretty impressive eyebrow control on either side that can enhance your positive tilt. It's important that when you do this that you train symmetrically. You can use the inverted filter on TikTok to keep flicking between and seeing where the imbalances are so that you can begin to address them. Monitor your facial habits carefully. Avoid things like furrowing your brows too much and getting these creases here, or raising them unnecessarily throughout the day. And if you can, practice maintaining a relaxed brow ridge with a subtle positive tilt through conversations, photos, whenever you get the chance to think about it. If you can't tell, that's what I've been doing this entire video and for the last 2 years. And I can also tell you that after doing it for so long, you don't have to think about it at all. It becomes your new resting facial expression as the muscles will begin to change during this process. And as always, take some photos, see how it looks, ask friends, ask family. The most important thing with attractiveness is facial harmony. So if you and others think that this doesn't suit you as much as neutral brows, because maybe your other features are hypermasculine, then opt for that instead. There is no one method that'll work for everyone, but it's definitely a useful tool that you might not have known that you had. Okay, so the short-term improvements of this are that within 1 to 2 weeks, you'll notice that you have a lot better facial control. The longer-term results are that with consistent practice, you will achieve a naturally low-set brow ridge, more positively tilted eyebrows, you won't have to think about it, and you'll have more masculine eyebrows that frame your jaw, make your mid-face more compact, which is more attractive, and your eyebrows will frame your eyes. Mastering this expression is a game changer for facial attractiveness. Knowing how to pose is not frauding. It is a vital skill that every one of your favorite top models also has acquired. So start implementing these tactics. Let me know how it goes. Best of luck, gang. If you want to know how to make your face look slimmer, less bloated, and more defined, you've tried getting lean, you've tried balancing your sodium and potassium, it may be time for you to consider lymphatic drainage massages and lymphatic drainage as a whole. So what is lymphatic drainage? It's a technique that helps stimulate your lymphatic system, which is a part of your body responsible for removing waste and toxins. So what is the lymphatic system? It's a network of vessels and nodes that act like a drainage system for your body. When the lymphatic system becomes sluggish, fluid can accumulate in your tissues, leading to puffiness, especially in your face. So how does your lymphatic system make you more attractive? Well, it reduces your puffiness, defines your facial features, improves your skin tone, and also detoxifies your skin. So how do you perform a lymphatic drainage massage? Keep in mind that lymphatic drainage for the face is gentle, and it's a manual technique that anyone can do at home. Here's how you're going to get started. Firstly, start with clean skin. Wash your face and apply a facial oil or serum to ensure that you have smooth movement. Then, stimulate the neck first. The lymphatic system begins in the neck, so clearing this area first is crucial. Start by using your fingers at the base of your ear and massage it all the way down to your collarbone. Repeat this on either side 5 to 10 times. Next, you want to put your fingers underneath your chin and sweep outward along your jawline towards your ears, like so. Again, repeat 5 to 10 times on either side. Then you need to focus on the cheeks. You start at the sides of your nose and you massage gently outwards towards your ears. This is going to help reduce cheek puffiness. Next, you can depuff your eyes. To do this, use your ring finger, simply because it's the gentlest, underneath your eyes, and sweep from either corner, back and forth, again, 5 to 10 times. Then you can begin to clear the forehead. Start in the middle of your forehead and sweep outwards towards your temples, and then finish off with a final neck sweep. Just want to repeat the downward strokes that you already practiced in the beginning. You can use your fingers, you can use a jade roller, you can even use a gua sha. How often should you do it? Well, consistency is always key for the best results. If you frequently experience that puffy look, do it daily. If you just want to keep up that general maintenance, 2 to 3 times a week is fine. And you can choose to do it in the morning or the evening. In the morning to reduce that morning puffiness, or in the evening to help you detox and relax. It's up to you. Beyond manual massage, there are some ways that you can improve your lymphatic flow. Firstly, stay hydrated, 2 to 3 liters of water every single day. Secondly, exercise regularly. Activities like walking or even yoga, active stretching, they all stimulate lymph flow. And incorporate neck stretches and shoulder rolls to target the lymph nodes in your upper body. You can use cold therapy, cold water splashes, or iced spoons can enhance the effects of your lymph flow, and avoid excess salt in your diet. High sodium, as you know, leads to fluid retention, undoing all of the effects of your lymphatic drainage. So what can you expect from lymphatic drainage? When done consistently, you can expect reduced puffiness and a slimmer looking face after just one session. You'll get long-term benefits too, like over time your skin will appear brighter, you'll have that inner glow that everybody's trying to get, and your jawline will also most definitely be enhanced. Before I finish, remember these key mistakes that you need to be avoiding. Do not use too much pressure. The lymphatic system is close to the surface of your skin. Being too rough can damage your skin, and it's just not needed to get the desired results. Do not skip the neck. Always start with the neck to ensure proper drainage, and if you're trying to get visible improvements that are long-lasting, you need to be consistent. So don't practice it inconsistently. It's a simple yet powerful tool to slim your face and enhance the natural structure of your skull. Whether it's for reducing puffiness, brightening your complexion, this practice can most definitely elevate your attractiveness without the need for any drastic changes. You may already have that lean looking face that you're trying to get, but it's just the case that you have too much fluid retention built up and you need to increase your lymphatic flow. As always, best of luck, gang.
Ditching shampoo does not mean that your hair has to look or smell bad. In fact, many shampoos strip your hair of its natural oils on purpose. This means that you are caught in a buying loop where you think, oh, I've just used this shampoo, now my hair's really dry, now it needs more. No, it doesn't. Here is how you can cut it out completely. In this video, I will teach you exactly how you can maintain a fresh, clean look with no shampoo. From natural alternatives like eggs, all the way to things like the benefits of the sea. I'm going to cover everything that you need to know so that you can embrace a no shampoo lifestyle. Firstly, let's talk about why you would even skip shampoo in the first place. Firstly, it's always better to avoid harsh chemicals where you can. Most shampoos contain something called sulfates, which strip your hair of its natural oils. This often leads to dryness and irritation. And overwashing actually makes your scalp produce more oil. Skipping shampoo can be a great way to help your scalp regulate itself naturally. Also, you will get healthier hair over time if you ditch the products. Shampoo-free routines allow your hair to maintain all of its natural moisture and in the long run will reduce a lot of frizz and breakage. So let's talk about some natural alternatives first to shampoo. Eggs. I know you've seen me talk about eggs and it sounds crazy. So let's talk about why it works. Eggs are rich in proteins and nutrients that strengthen your hair follicles. All you need to do is whisk 1 or 2 eggs together in a bowl and apply that to damp hair while you're in the shower. You let it sit for 5 minutes, then you rinse it with cool water. It needs to be cool because you do not want to cook the egg while it's in your hair. It's weird, I know, just try it. You'll most likely find that your hair feels great after doing it. The next substitute is aloe vera. Aloe vera gently cleanses your hair while also hydrating your scalp. All you gotta do is apply a fresh aloe vera gel to your hair and scalp, leave it on for 10 minutes and then rinse it thoroughly, same as the egg. You can also consider herbal rinses. Herbs like chamomile, rosemary, or even nettle nourish your hair while giving it a natural scent. If you want to do this, brew a strong tea using any of the things that I've just mentioned. Let it cool and use it as a rinse after washing. Now, let's talk about the benefits of the sea and your hair because there are huge ones. If you are lucky enough to live by the ocean or have access to salt water, the sea can be an incredible tool for keeping your hair clean and very healthy. First reason being natural oil control. Salt water absorbs excess oil in your scalp, making it extremely effective for people that struggle with oiliness. Secondly, it also gives you a gentle exfoliation. The salt in seawater, when it dries, will exfoliate your scalp, removing it of any dead cells. Not only does it have those benefits, but it also adds great texture. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The sea is the best thing you can put in your hair, especially if you have a straight hair type like mine. The difference when you go in the sea versus use a product is absolutely night and day. It adds so much volume and texture to your hair, giving it that awesome, effortless, beachy look. Now, if you don't live near the ocean, but you do live somewhere sunny, you're in luck. You can actually create your own sea salt rinse. Mix 1 tablespoon of sea salt with a cup of warm water and use it to rinse your hair thoroughly. But this is only really applicable if you live somewhere very sunny, and that is because the texture from sea salt actually comes from it drying in the sun. You'll find that if you don't let it dry in the sun, you will get the health benefits of having sea salt in your hair, but you will not get that added texture that you're looking for that you get so effortlessly on a beach day. Another question that gets asked a lot is how do you maintain healthy, nice smelling hair on no shampoo? Even without shampoo, you can keep your hair fresh and clean. Here's how. Firstly is rinse it daily. Use warm water and scrub your scalp thoroughly with your fingertips every single time you are in the shower. This is to loosen all of the dirt and oil that is potentially sitting on your scalp. Also consider using essential oils. Oils like tea tree or lavender can make it smell so good and you don't need any products to clean it. Also, if you brush your hair more regularly, it's going to smell better. Ideally, use something like a ball bristle brush or something that is natural. It's going to distribute your natural oils from the roots to the tips, keeping your hair moisturized and healthy too. Now, it's important when you do no shampoo to stay hydrated. Hydration is super important for healthy hair, as it is for literally everything in looksmaxing. If you are looksmaxing and you are not drinking 2 to 3 liters of water every single day, what the hell are you doing? Not only do you want to stay hydrated, you want to eat a diet that is rich in zinc, biotin, and omega-3s too. That's going to do the most to give you the healthiest hair that you can possibly get from the inside out. When you stop using shampoo, your hair is going to go through a transition stage. This is when it's going to get a lot more oily than it naturally would once you're adjusted. So what do? The first few weeks, your hair is going to feel a lot oilier, but this will improve as your scalp finds its natural balance. Stick with it and be patient. Your scalp needs time to reset. Using natural rinses and scrubbing it throughout this process with warm water is going to help you greatly and can help manage this oiliness. So let me know in the chat if you have tried going shampoo free. Let me know if you have any questions as always, and best of luck with your no shampoo journeys. Peace out.
How the hell do you get radiant complexion like this when all of your skincare products are not working? The answer, my friends, is gut health. Your skin is a mirror of your gut. If your gut health is not in check, your skin will show it. In this video, let's dive into exactly how you can heal your gut microbiome, how it affects your skin, and how you can achieve that radiant glow you're after. So how does gut impact the skin? First thing, they're directly linked. Here's how it works. An imbalanced gut leads to chronic inflammation, that bloated face that you're always complaining about. This inflammation can trigger or worsen skin conditions like acne, eczema, psoriasis, and rosacea. A healthy gut helps detoxify your body. And when the gut barrier is compromised, otherwise known as a leaky gut, toxins enter the bloodstream and cause inflammation and breakouts. The gut is responsible for absorbing the nutrients that is critical for skin health, such as vitamin A, E, zinc, your omega-3s, Poor gut health just means your skin isn't getting the nutrients it needs to grow and repair. And the connection to the microbiome is your gut contains trillions of bacteria. They all play a role in skin health. Beneficial bacteria in your gut microbiome reduce inflammation, strengthen the skin barrier. An imbalance where there's more harmful can lead to your acne and your redness. So if you have persistent breakouts, dry flaky skin, redness or rosacea, eczema or psoriasis flare-ups, dull or uneven skin tone, chances are your gut microbiome is imbalanced. Now that we understand the link between gut health and skin, your diet is the foundation of your gut health. Here's what you need to prioritize. Probiotic-rich foods. These are going to introduce healthy bacteria to your gut. For example, yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi, miso, and kombucha. Prebiotic foods. These feed the good bacteria that's already in your gut. Garlic, onions, bananas, asparagus, and oats. Fiber-rich foods. These promote healthy digestion and regular detoxification. Leafy greens, beans, lentils, and whole grains. And lastly, anti-inflammatory foods. This reduces your gut inflammation. Fatty fish, like salmon or mackerel, turmeric, ginger, and berries. Here are the foods you need to avoid. Anything processed. Anything. Cut it out. Done. No refined carbs, no refined sugars. Just get it gone. They contain additives and preservatives that will harm your gut and your skin will show it instantly. Dairy. This is more specific to the individual, but for some, it can really trigger inflammation. Again, specific to the individual, but gluten can seriously harm your gut. And lastly, alcohol. Alcohol disrupts your gut bacteria and weakens the gut barrier. So if you're looking to balance your gut microbiome, diet comes first, but you can also take probiotic supplements. Look for a broad spectrum probiotic, typically containing multiple strains. Include fermented foods in your diet, make them a daily staple, and only take antibiotics when absolutely necessary. They kill both harmful and beneficial bacteria in your gut. In order to strengthen your gut barrier and stop toxins leaking into your bloodstream, which leads to the inflammation and skin issues, consume collagen or bone broth. Include L-glutamine in your diet. It's an amino acid that repairs and strengthens the gut wall. And eat polyphenol-rich foods. What do I mean by that? Things like green tea, dark chocolate, and berries. Polyphenols support gut bacteria and reduce inflammation. Needless to say, stay hydrated, avoid stress, get quality sleep every single night, 7 to 9 hours in a dark room, and test for food sensitivities. Undiagnosed food intolerances can absolutely wreak havoc on your skin. Consider something like an elimination diet to identify triggers like dairy, gluten, or soy, then gradually reintroduce foods and monitor your skin's response. In the first week of doing all of these practices, you'll notice reduced bloating and inflammation. In the first month, you'll notice far less breakouts, and it improves skin texture and quality. Within 3 to 6 months, you will have clearer, more radiant skin with an even tone as your gut health fully restores. If you want 5 staples that you can just go to understand that you are going to be benefiting your gut, here they are. Start your day with hot water and lemon. Kickstart your digestion. Eat fermented foods daily. Practice mindful eating, as in chew your food thoroughly before you swallow it. Limit snacking to allow your gut to rest between meals, and incorporate fasting 12 to 16 hours overnight. This gives your gut time to repair. You can now address the root issue of your acne, your inflammation, redness or rosacea, and unclear skin. So stay consistent and let your skin reflect your inner health. Best of luck, gang. This is the ultimate guide to boosting your testosterone levels naturally. Testosterone is not just about muscles, it is about energy, confidence, vitality, bone density. In terms of looking attractive as a man, this is your anchor. In this video, I will show you every single way that you can max out your testosterone as a man, so that you can begin to dominate every single aspect of your life looking good while you do it. So why is it crucial? Testosterone is the primary male hormone responsible for muscle gain, fat loss, your mood, your libido, and overall energy levels. Optimizing your testosterone is not about shortcuts. It is about maximizing your body, your mind, and lifestyle for peak performance. Let's dive in. First thing you need to consider is your nutrition and how to eat the right foods to fuel your hormones. Your diet is the foundation of healthy testosterone levels. Here's what you prioritize and here's what you avoid. Firstly, healthy fats. Testosterone is synthesized from cholesterol. In your diet, you should be including eggs, grass-fed butter, avocados, olive oil, fatty fish, and nuts. Zinc-rich foods. Zinc is absolutely crucial for testosterone production. In your diet, include oysters, red meat, pumpkin seeds, and chickpeas. Magnesium-rich foods. These are going to help lower your cortisol, which is the stress hormone, and improve your testosterone. The two don't go hand in hand. You should be including spinach, dark chocolate, almonds, and cashews. Vitamin D. This acts as a steroid hormone, directly linked to your test production. As much as you can, you should be including fatty fish, egg yolks, and liver. And of course, prioritize natural sunlight exposure. More on that later. Also consider cruciferous vegetables. This is going to help balance your estrogen levels by promoting estrogen metabolism. To make it simple, eat things like kale, broccoli, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts. If you want to know the testosterone superfoods, the highest on the chart, raw honey. This contains a lot of boron, which is also going to boost your teeth. Dark chocolate, super high in antioxidants and magnesium. Beef liver, packed with testosterone supporting nutrients like vitamin A and zinc. Foods to avoid. Anything processed. It contains trans fats, additives, and loads of junk that are going to harm your test. Cut it out. Eat nutrient-dense organic whole foods. Soy products. These contain phytoestrogens. It's going to mimic estrogen in the body, and excess alcohol. Alcohol directly reduces your testosterone and increases your estrogen. Diet out the way. Let's talk about training. How do you train for high testosterone? Physical activity is one of the most effective ways that you can boost your testosterone. Focus on these strategies. Strength training, especially compound lifts. Compound lifts like squats, deadlifts, pull-ups, or flat bench prove to be the most effective for testosterone production. Train 3 to 5 times per week, focusing on heavy weights. Ideally, this should be around 6 to 10 reps, with the last rep being damn near failure. High intensity interval training, otherwise known as HIIT. This is alternating between short bursts of intense effort and rest. For example, 30 seconds of sprinting, 60 seconds of rest. Repeat that 5 times, heavy on the sprinting. And this one might come as a curveball, but you need to avoid overtraining. Overtraining can increase your cortisol, which suppresses your testosterone. Prioritize rest days and good recovery. Let's talk about lifestyle habits that completely maximize your testosterone. You already know this one's coming. Sleep. Sleep, particularly REM sleep, is when your body produces the most testosterone. You should be aiming for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep every single night. Make sure that where you sleep is a sleep-friendly environment. Make sure it's cool. Make sure it's dark. Avoid screens 1 to 2 hours before bed. Avoid the blue light interfering with your melanin production. Yes, doom scrolling is killing your test. Put the phone down. Another lifestyle factor, stress management. Chronic stress elevates your cortisol. Cortisol suppresses your test. Try and incorporate stress-reducing activities throughout the day. Stay calm, stoic-minded. Meditate. Deep breathe. Spend time in nature and practice daily mindfulness and gratitude. Cold exposure. Cold showers or ice baths can stimulate test production by improving your circulation and reducing inflammation. Try and aim for 2 to 3 cold showers every single week. Grounding. Real ones know about grounding. Anyone that says grounding does nothing doesn't know what they're talking about. Walk barefoot on natural surfaces like grass. No shoes, no socks. You and Mother Nature. This reduces inflammation across your whole entire body, improves your hormonal balance, and particularly if you do it in the morning, it sets you up with a mindset to win for the day. Adds to the whole reducing stress aspect. And lastly, your sexual activity. Healthy sexual activity increases your test. Regular, non-stressful sexual interactions promote natural hormonal balance. Don't underdo it, don't overdo it. Let's talk about the materials in your clothes. What should you be wearing and what should you be avoiding? Avoid tight underwear and pants. Restrictive clothing can actually increase your scrotal temperature. What do I mean by that? It means your balls get too hot for your sperm count to be healthy. It can actually seriously negatively affect your testosterone. You should be choosing natural fabrics. Wear loose, breathable materials like cotton or bamboo. Keep your body cool throughout the day. And if you can, especially when you sleep, let it breathe. And you should ditch all plastics. Avoid wearing anything carrying items with plastic-based materials. They might be full of endocrine disruptors, like BPA. Back to sunlight. Sunlight and vitamin D. Sunlight exposure is absolutely vital for testosterone production, your mental health, and your physical health. Spend 15 to 30 minutes every single day in direct sunlight to boost your vitamin D levels. It is essential for test production. If sunlight is not an option, consider a vitamin D3 supplement like this one here. Let's focus in on endocrine disruptors. Environmental toxins can wreak havoc on your hormones. Here is exactly how you avoid them. Everything plastic, avoid it. BPA and phthalates are found in plastic bottles. When you can, use glass or stainless steel. Parabens, found in a multitude of personal care products. Parabens mimic estrogen and lower your test. Switch to natural, low ingredient products. Pesticides. Whenever you are eating your fruit and veg, make sure you wash them thoroughly. Pesticides will disrupt your hormones. Let's talk about supplementation. This is if you want to be hardcore about it. Understand that you should be doing supplements along with the lifestyle changes. But the lifestyle changes should come first. Zinc. It boosts test and supports your overall health. Magnesium. It improves your sleep quality and lowers your overall cortisol. Ashwagandha. This is an adaptogen that reduces stress. Tonkat Ali is a natural herb that has been shown to increase your test. Tonkat Ali and boron It's found in small doses in your food, but supplementation of boron can increase your free testosterone. Hydration and electrolytes. Dehydration is killing your test. Drink at least 2 to 3 liters of water every single day, and add electrolytes to your water, whether it's Himalayan salt, electrolyte packets, or things like coconut water. These are going to keep your body hydrated and well balanced. So to recap, testosterone is not just a hormone, it is your secret weapon for energy, confidence, and vitality and attractiveness. With these natural strategies, you're not only going to boost your test, but you are also going to become the strongest, healthiest version of yourself. Your potential in this field is limitless. Good luck, gang. Your eye bags can make you look tired, stressed, and older than you are. There are a multitude of different types of eye bags, each with their own cause and treatment. Let's break all of them down so you can assess which ones you have and how you can get rid of them for good. All right, so let's first start by saying, why do we get eye bags? Well, they all form for different reasons, but usually they're caused by fluid retention, fat displacement, or thinning skin under your eyes. To treat them effectively, you need to understand what is causing yours. So here are the main types of eye bags and exactly what you need to do to get rid of them. First one is temporary puffiness. Looks like this. The causes of this can be fluid retention, allergies, a lack of sleep, and it gives that puffy, swollen look under the eyes. Second type of eye bag looks like this. These are fat-related eye bags. This can just be to do with how old you are, but it can also be genetic. When you age, the muscles around your eyes can just get weaker, causing fat to look like it's shifted forward. Your genetics may mean that your eye bags are just more predisposed to having fat pads there. Or for some people, your genetics can just make it so that you're more predisposed to having fat deposits under your eyes. The third type of eye bag, dark eye bags, like this. These can be from thinning skin, which is from a loss of collagen and elastin. It can be to do with your pigmentation. This can either just be your genetics or too much sun exposure. Or it can be to do with hollowing, which is volume loss under your eyes, creating a shadowed effect. And the fourth type of eye bag, which is your lifestyle-driven eye bag. This can be caused by anything from stress and poor sleep, dehydration, or excessive screen time. So how do you treat each type of eye bag? Firstly, treating temporary puffiness. If we're talking long term, you need to reduce the amount of sodium in your diet as a whole. Avoid salty foods, especially in the evening. Hydrate, drink plenty of water, 2 to 3 liters every single day to flush out any excess sodium in your system. And sleep elevated. If you haven't tried it, try sleeping with another pillow on top of your other one so that your head is more propped up to reduce fluid pooling overnight. Quick fixes for this type of eye bag are cold compresses, chilled spoons, cucumber slices, you know the drill, lymphatic drainage massages. You gently massage under your eyes with your moisturizer in the morning or evening in a circular motion. You promote fluid drainage in your skin. And you can also try caffeine-infused eye creams. Caffeine constricts blood vessels and reduces puffiness. Okay, how do you treat fat-related eye bags? Let's talk about long-term solutions. Topical retinoids. These are going to stimulate collagen production and improve your skin's elasticity. You've got skin tightening treatments. Procedures like radiofrequency or ultrasound therapy can tighten the loose skin around your eyes. Okay, let's talk about what doesn't work. Quick fixes like cold compress that is able to treat the temporary puffiness won't work so well here. You may reduce the swelling, but you're not addressing the root cause, which is the fat pads under your eyes. Okay, how do you treat dark eye bags? To treat the thinning skin that may be causing your dark eye bags, you can try vitamin C serums, hyaluronic acid, and retinol creams. All of these are going to brighten your skin and stimulate collagen production and overall give you a better appearance. To treat the pigmentation that might be causing your eye bags, make sure when you're in the sun, you're using sunscreen. Try and use one that doesn't have any endocrine disruptors in it. Always go for natural and organic when you can. You can also use brightening agents in your face products. Look for creams with niacinamide or kojic acid because these are going to reduce the discoloration in your skin. And to address the hollowing that might be causing these dark eye bags, the main way to target this is going to be through your diet. Specifically, you want to eat foods that are rich in vitamin K, like spinach or kale. These are going to improve the blood circulation around this area and hopefully reduce that dark appearance. Okay, how do you treat lifestyle-driven eye bags? Firstly, aim for better sleep. 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep every single night. The more consistent of a schedule you maintain, the better your circadian rhythm will be. And ideally, avoid screens 1 to 2 hours before you go to bed. Secondly, you need to be controlling your stress management. Try and incorporate mindfulness practices like yoga, meditation, or breath work. The goal here is to reduce the amount of stress you have in your life. You may think it's not for you, but I highly recommend you try it before you knock it. Once again, hydrate. Drink at least 2 to 3 liters of water every single day. And if you are going to be on your screen a lot through the day, whether it's in your job or at school, you can't avoid it, go for the 20-20-20 rule. Every 20 minutes, look at something 20 feet away for 20 seconds, because this is going to reduce your eye strain. I have some general tips for a more holistic approach on how to decrease your eye bags In your skincare routine, use a gentle cleanser to begin. Apply moisturizing eye creams, ideally twice a day to keep the area hydrated. And always pat the products into your skin, do not rub them. The reason for this is because the area of skin underneath your eyes is very, very delicate. Secondly, sun care protection. If you struggle with eye bags, try and wear a broad spectrum sunscreen daily. And also, if you're out directly in the sun, you're not tanning, wear some sunglasses. It'll help. Thirdly, focus on your healthy diet. Focus on foods that are rich in antioxidants and collagen-boosting nutrients, as well as your omega-3 fatty acids. And lastly, avoid any harmful habits like smoking or drinking. Smoking accelerates your collagen breakdown, and alcohol severely dehydrates the skin. Smoking is going to worsen your pigmentation, and the drinking is going to exacerbate your puffiness. Treating eye bags is not an overnight process, but with consistency, your temporary puffiness, dark circles, or fat-related bags can all be diminished. Eye bags do not have to be a permanent part of your look. As always, consistency is going to take you far. Best of luck, gang.